I'm Joe Hunt, DJ, producer. I'm from the south, from Crawley, West Sussex, moved to Birmingham and got into music, and here we are today, a long time ago, and now we're here.
Did you get into production first or DJing first?
It was DJing first. Production wasn't even a thought in my mind at the time, and I started DJing. I was just collecting records, and then I kind of just respected the artists that were making the records, and I haven't even imagined in a million years that I would be that person making the record one day. It just never even crossed my mind. So it was just all about DJing, and that was it, collecting records. Yeah.
What made you want to become a DJ?
Where are we now? So just around the corner, there used to be a place, Snow Hill Police Station, the headquarters. Just underneath, there was a little bar called West End Bar, and it was like a absolute dodgy dive. Like, it was like you wiped your feet on the way out. You know what I mean? Not on the way in. It was just like one of them places, but it was just so good because it was just relaxed. It was underground. It started at 5 a.m. in the morning. So me and my friend used to get up, catch the bus into town, get a McDonald's, and then go to this after party thing. I was in there, like, it was just a whole new world. Like, I was like, wow, what is this? We're talking like 1998. And just this DJ was playing. I am going to mention him. His name's Rick James. He knows this to this day, that he was the one that inspired me to become a DJ. Yeah, so he was just playing, and how he made me feel is like, I walked out there and I said to my mate, I went, I want to be a DJ. I want to do what that guy has just made me feel. You know, I want to do that to people myself. I mean, because that was just insane. You know what I mean? And that was it then. From there, I was just like, that was it. Just wanted to be a DJ. And it wasn't because I didn't want to be a DJ for the fame, because we're in a dodgy, like, dive, like, club sort of thing. Like, so it wasn't for the fame, it wasn't for the fortune, because it wasn't like that back then. It was about how it would make people feel if I was behind them decks and played the records. That was what it was all about for me, yeah.
How did you get like your first booking, or how did you like get into doing your first gig as a DJ?
I liked it. Liked it. So there was this place called Genesis Bar. It was kind of like, because in Birmingham at the time, it was like, you went out on a Friday, you went home, got changed, you went back out, and it was this big bunch of people that kind of just went like this all around Birmingham. Like, you weren't friends. It was just like the clubbing culture, and in them years, it was just another world. And there was this place called the Genesis Bar, and everyone ended up there on a Sunday. It was just it wasn't cool. It wasn't anything. It was just amazing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people were there that probably hadn't even been home for 3 days, you know what I mean? It was like just one of them places. It was really good. Anyway, I was like, I just need to, and bearing in mind, I hadn't really been DJing that long, but I kind of got the grips of it. And my friend I kind of got talking to at West End Bar, I made a friend. He was kind of running a club called Dust Till Dawn, which is around the corner. Anyway, he says to me one time, I fancy it. You can put on a night here if you want. I was like, oh, sound cool. I clung on to that. And I went to this Genesis Bar, and the DJ that was playing before, his name's Matt. And again, I always praise him for giving me that opportunity. And I says to him, I'm putting on an event at Dust Till Dawn. So I'll tell you what, if you let me play here, one set, I'll book you for my thing around the corner. He's like, yeah, sound. In fact, I'm not here next week. I've got to do something. You can fill my slot.
Okay.
And then what happened was, I filled his slot, and then eventually he was like, do you want to play regular? I was like, yeah. And by the way, my night never happened around the corner. It never happened. By then, I was you know, in there, but, you know, we weren't getting paid money. We were getting paid in beer. So I was doing like 5-hour vinyl sets, like just absolutely living my best life for like 4 cans of Red Stripe. That's what I was getting paid. But that's what I mean. It was just so much about the music and the passion to, just collect records. It was just, it's just weird. It's just another whole new world.
So after that first event, obviously, how did you then scale that to the next event, or how did you know what direction to take?
It was just because it was just so underground then. It was like, Yeah, it was because trance was a big thing back then. Hard house was a big thing, so it was kind of like I was into like UK garage. I was into speed garage, like all the original speed garage, and a little bit of house.
Okay.
So it was really hard to break through into the big clubs at the time because they were all trance and hard house. So it was kind of like you had to like it was maneuver around the underground of the scene, which is what I did. I ended up getting booked for Dusk Till Dawn, the club we were just talking about. Obviously kept that residency at Genesis, and then another. It was all about after clubs. Like it was so bizarre, like when I talk about it. And I ended up getting a residency. Well, Genesis ended up getting closed down because they lost the license for whatever reason. I think. Oh, no, actually, I'll tell you why it closed down because they built the bloody bull ring.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They built the bull ring. They needed that space. So they knocked it all down, and that was why the bar went. So then I got a residency in a cafe, believe it or not. So it was cafe in the day and an after party on the night. Really weird. And ended up getting a residency there every Saturday morning and Sunday morning. Again, 5-hour sets. But this time I was getting paid. And I was getting like 100 quid for like a 5-hour set. And that's how it kind of like progressed. And it was just kept on going underground. And eventually, like, I got spotted for pirate radio. Someone was like, bloody hell, you know, the music you play is like amazing. And it was Silk City. And he was like, oh, do you want to come and be a resident on this radio station? I was like, with me? I've never done radio in my life. He went, yeah, it's fine, you'll get the hang of it. And he said, it's all UK garage on there at the minute, and we're trying to break through into this like new sound that we can hear coming, which was this speed garage. And anyway, he was like, I said, well, when is it you want me to play? And he was like, Thursday night, 1 till 2 in the morning. I was like, 1 till 2 in the morning? I was like, you know what I mean, mate? Come on. He's like, no, you know, let's just give it a trial, 1 till 2 in the morning. I was like, where is it? Gave me the address. It was a tower block in, I can't remember, Newtown, I think it might have been. Anyway, so we've gone up the top, to the top. I've gone to this flat, and the door had been kicked off. I was like, it can't be in here. And we could hear the music going, like, gone in there. Gone into this dark room, and all you could see was like, you know, when someone sucks on a spliff, like the end lights up. That's all you could see in the room. It was pitch black. It was just like the end lighting up. I was like, Jesus Christ! I was like for me, like I'm not used to like that underground kind of, you know, that vibe. Like, so when I walked in the room, I'm going, oh my God, what have I walked into? This is the funny story. The door that had been kicked off had been put on crates, you know, the milk crates, the bottle crates, and the door was on that, and the decks were on that. So they kicked the door off and used this door to use for the deck stand line. But yeah, that's how it kind of progressed into. I started on a Thursday, and then they were like, "Oh, we want you to do Saturday afternoons." It's like, cool. And then what happened was then this scene started to evolve because there was like, you know, like my peers, like a few people that were also playing speed garage. They were like, oh, you know, they come on the station like about a year later, and it all just started to snowball really. And this scene started to evolve, and then people started to jump in the studio and start to make new beats based on the sounds that we were already playing. So it had like old school elements, and at the time this new school thing that we were doing, and it just started to evolve then. And it kind of come out of the underground and started to become, you know, like in clubs and not in dodgy little grimy bars, you know, in illegal type environments. And that's where it started to move.
Okay. What is it about garage music that you love so much?
Well, I used to like to dance when I was like coming through as a DJ, and I just loved this, like especially two-step and on UKG genre. It was like really snappy, like funky beats, and I used to like give it like all that, you know what I mean? Thinking I was a bad man and that, you know what I mean? Like, and that's how it was, and that's what I liked about it. And then, you know, the girly sing-along stuff that come through as well at that time, because UK Garage at that point, like 98, 99, 2000, 2001, and all that, it was you know, it was like Oxide Neutrino, you know, Bound for the Bound, Pump for the Reload, and all that sort of stuff. Shola Amma, you know, it was all the big sing along stuff that everyone knew, and you know, it was peaking in the charts and stuff. So it was, yeah, it was just a really good sound, and obviously I still loved the dirtiness of that warp of speed garage. So I kind of just played between the two genres. So yeah, it was kind of like, yeah, that's why I loved it so much. It was just, yeah, because it made me dance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
What's your favourite genre to play?
I love UK garage still. Love it. I love speed garage. I like authentic sounding speed garage, and I also love like this hard house with trancey elements in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that because I just love the euphoria of it, the way it makes me feel. Again, like the way it makes me feel. You know what I mean? It's not actually like, it's not. I don't like it because it's trend. I like it because I like music the way it makes me feel. You know what I mean? Because it just wouldn't be authentic if I played something because I had to. You know what I mean? I wouldn't enjoy it.
So in terms of DJing, how did your, I guess, sort of environment when you were younger, how did that make you want to go into DJing?
I don't know, because I think back, like, 'cause my brother, he's a good musician. Well, not musician, but he's very good with music. He was always the one that was in going to the raves and stuff like this. I mean, he's a lot younger than me, but he was in like Helter Skelter and a lot of the drum bass raves, the old school hardcore raves and stuff, and Dreamscape. And so I was the one playing football, you know what I mean? And I always looked at him collecting vinyls and I thought, what's he doing? What is he doing? But when I actually think back and I actually think deep about it, I remember being at a party and I was quite young, and I was on, at the time it used to be like a hi-fi system. You had your two cassette tapes, like left A and B, and then you had your radio, then it had the vinyl bit on top. And I remember being at the party and I was like playing the cassettes and I was like getting ready for the next one. So I was like kind of DJing, and when I think back, I was like having the time of my life, like looking around, seeing if people were dancing and getting reaction. So when I think back, it was always like embedded in me, you know what I mean? But when I looked at my brother, I was thinking, what are you doing? You know what I mean? He was mixing vinyls at the time. I was like, you know, he's like of late just got back into music. But I was never really, when you look at our childhood, me and my brother, he was meant to be the DJ because of what he was into and what he was doing in his bedroom. I was the sportsman, and kind of gone like that. Like it was, it's never meant to be, but it must have been meant to be. It's just the way the stars have aligned.
Your creative outlet being DJing, how did you manage to translate that into social media? So like, do you know what I mean? So it carries your authenticity onto social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people, when we went into, how it all happened was we went into lockdown and a lot of people were doing live streaming and stuff like that. And my wife was like, get on there, do your thing and all this. I was like, no, people won't be into it. So what happened was, did the Facebook lives, having like some crazy numbers on there, like, 3,000 people watching like the entire show, like constantly watching. So then it kind of brought out this new character in me, like it wasn't a fake character, it was just because my wife always used to say to me, I think you're a really good DJ, but you just stand there. And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? And she's like, well, put your hand in the air, like engage with the crowd and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. She was like, so anyway, we did this Facebook Live thing and had a few gins and stuff, and I was like, become relaxed. There wasn't people in front of me, it was just a camera. So I just become myself. What happened was, it just kind of carried on to social media then. And then I've just become this, like, I've become me. You know what I mean? 'Cause for so long, I just stood there doing this and just like, yay. So social media brought it out of me. And then what I done was, with obviously Instagram clips and stuff, I just carried the whole thing over to my content. You know what I mean? So everything now is like very lively. It's all my personality. I mean, I always get accused of being on drugs.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, he's on drugs. He's on drugs. He is. No, I ain't on drugs. This is me. Like, this is actually me. It's just, but small-minded people like, at one point I was replying to people and saying, why would I risk my career and go on camera like doing drugs? Why would I risk my career? Like, I've worked hard for this. Why would I do that? And, it's like, come on. But anyway, yeah, so that's how it translated into social media, and my content was the whole process of COVID, to be fair.
So like when you're putting together your playlist or your set for DJing,
Yeah.
like what factors go into how you curate that?
Where I'm playing, I study like the area. I look at other DJs that have played them venues alongside the support artists. So yeah, I literally, if I've got a gig coming up, like I'm playing Madrid on Thursday, I've studied it. So like I've downloaded a whole new backup of music, like another playlist, because if what I represent and play doesn't kind of work that good, I know I've got a backup. You know what I mean? I don't just go there in blind. And to be honest, it gives me more confidence, because if I haven't prepared, I get very anxious and like, oh my god, what if it doesn't work? But you know, if you've got a backup plan, then you're cool, I'm calm. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I do. I always study. That's what I always.
Has there ever been a time when you've been DJing and you've thought, oh, the crowd isn't feeling this? What was your sort of like reaction to that?
Change the tune. Go to the backup. It's just about planning. So you kind of got a backup plan. You know what I mean? It's like if something doesn't work, change it. You know, I always like to get there a little bit early as well before my set, and kind of watch the DJ before and watch what's going off, because not 9 times out of 10 the DJ before is like the resident or the support that plays there regular or been booked there before. So I kind of always go there and just study the DJ before and see what's working, what the tempo's at, and the sounds, and no, like yeah or no. You know what I mean? So.
What's one of the biggest challenges that you've faced in your career, and how did you overcome that?
Disappointment. Disappointment. I've come to learn that you can't win everything. So you got to learn to be disappointed, because when you do win, you appreciate it. Yeah, so that's really it, to be fair. That's the hardest thing I've had to overcome is disappointment. Because there's a lot of disappointments in the music industry, and there's a lot of being let down, and, you know, and being given, you know, hope, and then the following day it's like, oh, sorry, no, you know. So to overcome that mentally is quite hard, like, because you think you're going to move up the next step and then you don't, and yeah. So you know, a lot of time you're waiting on other people, and in the music industry, people do drag their heels a little bit. You know, they're in no rush, but you are. You know, you're so eager, and you know you want it to happen. So you just got to learn to, you know, deal with disappointment, I think.
So obviously when people are getting into the music industry, you've got the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
Then you've got the creative aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
How have you sort of been able to navigate the business aspect of it while keeping true to the creative aspects of it?
So I got a manager.
Okay.
So he kind of approached me a few years back, and, you know, I'm no good at the business side. Like, since he's come on board, he's just puts my music in the right laps, you know, like the right A&Rs, and he kind of like helps me direct my sound, even though I know where I want to go with my sound. You know, he's just very much in the know. So collectively, we make a good team, and yeah, I wouldn't have anything a clue about. To be fair, I've self-managed for my entire career, but until he's come on board, he's just kind of like took it to that next level, because I wouldn't have never known about certain parts of the music industry that he knows about. So yeah, collectively we make a great team. So yeah, it's about management if you want to progress, if you don't know.
Okay. What do you think the importance of networking is in the industry, and how has that like impacted your career?
Networking is important, I suppose, but I don't think it's imperative, like, especially if it's, I've done a lot of networking over the time, but at the time you didn't have the internet, so you can network via internet now. You know, jumping in people's DMs, supporting them on their socials. Club events tend to approach you anyway. I find it used to be back in the day that you'd go there week in, week out to support, so that the promoter would see you there, and you know, it's a totally different ball game now. So yeah, it's about being just socially active on social media and supporting other DJs and other promoters, and Yeah.
So how did you sort of transition into doing obviously DJ sets into then like actual songs and like making records?
Well, we're going back way back to when I was saying about the the radio, pirate radio, and it was kind of like the music just getting not stale, but you're just playing the same records week in, week out. And there was a DJ producer from Sheffield called Big Ange who was making music. I mean, everyone was like, "Wow, like we need to have a go at this." So everyone started to have jump in the studio. Danny Wynn was the first. I think he was the first producer to actually make Birmingham's first bassline tune in that time. And then it just like again snowballed. Then everyone was on it. It was like everyone was getting acapellas and making all these bootlegs and and that's where it all just started happening really. So yeah, we're talking probably 2002, 2003 maybe. Yeah.
Just for the audience, what was the first song that you made and what was the creative process like behind that song?
Couldn't even tell you. I really couldn't even tell you. I've probably made over my time 150 tunes, probably even more than that. Even more than that. I couldn't even tell you what my first release was. I know that it would have been a Hunt Down the Savage. I teamed up with a guy that used to play quite a lot back to back with, and we called ourselves Hunt Down the Savage. His name was Steve Savage, my name was Joe Hunt. So I was like, why don't we call ourselves Hunt Down the Savage? Sounds quite quirky. I think, I couldn't even tell you. Kick Your Legs in the Air, maybe. Remember Kick Your Legs in the Air? We done a mix of that. I'm sure that was our first release. But anyway, yeah, there was so many.
So you released, there's a song that I really like called Up to No Good. So how did that song come about and how did you feel about the impact of that song?
So, oh God, there's such a story behind that. How long we got?
That's cool.
So, Up to No Good. So there was this because I come from a very like organ house, like speed garage background and hard house, and there was a few tunes floating about that inspired me, and I went to Maid Festival. I was playing at Maid Festival and I just played my set and everything was playing in the other arena. So mate was like, oh, come on, you got wristband, let's go and stand behind him and watch him play. I was like, cool. And he played Up to No Good. I think the original is Pawn Kings. I think it is. And anyway, he played the tune and I was like, oh my God, this needs a revamp. This needs a new lick light. So that week I went in the studio and I did Up to No Good. Anyway, I didn't think anything of it. I was just, going to play it for myself. And I give it to Zach in Planetary Criminal. And he played it at AVA Festival in Ireland. I don't know if you've seen the clip, but it went, I can't remember where I was. I think I was on holiday. And this just gone ping and this video's come through. Have you seen this, Joe? It's like, no, watch. And it just gone viral. This clip of him playing it in Ireland has just gone viral. Like I'm talking TikTok, everything. Every video was like going ping, 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 ping. And anyway, I started having record labels emailing me. Like we're talking Universal, Sony, Island Records, every major you can think of. Defected, you name a record label, they emailed me for this record. I was like, oh my God, what is going on? And Zach was like, IPC was like, we want to sign. Anyway, the label managers got in touch with me. He says, you need to get yourself a manager and a lawyer because this is serious now. I was like, right, okay, cool. So my mate, his manager was like, I'll manager, I'll sort it. I was like, cool, okay, cool. My mate, by the way, helped co-produce the record as well. So it kind of all fitted. So he was like, yeah, I'll manage it. I'll try and sort out a deal with Sony for you. Anyway, it ended up being like this mega amazing deal. It was like, ended up being like ATW and Columbia Records, like, and Room 2. So it's like major now. It's like, cool. Anyway, the sample on it is a 1983 rap group that we clipped it off, the vocal. And we just couldn't get it cleared. They were like, yeah, like one of the writers had passed away. So passed away. So the other two writers said yes, and the third one had passed away. So we had to try and get in touch with the estate, and no one could find out who the estate was. And in the end, my wife, bless her, she was like, "What was the writer's name again?" I was like, "Oh, such and such." She was like, "Anyway, we were lying in bed, and she's gone, found his daughter." I was like, "Do you mean you found his daughter?" She went, "Found his daughter." She's like a dog with a bone. My wife is like, "Found his daughter." I was like, "Show me." She's gone like that. Anyway, I've DM'd her. Within half an hour, she DM'd me back. I'm like, "No way. This is. We're probably 8 months in trying to find the family, and my wife found it like in 5 minutes." Like, anyway, DM the family. She's like, "Yeah. Here's our lawyers' details." So we sent it back to the legals at Sony, and then they just dealt with it then. But it literally took over a year for that record to be released from when it went viral. Luckily, people still wanted the record. It was that big that it still blew up when it came out. Thank God. Yeah. So yeah, that was the story behind Up to No Good. And then from there, then my career kind of upped a level from being kind of just a regular DJ to then becoming like an international artist.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's when it all changed.
Who are some of your biggest influences in music?
Oh God. So we're going back to the Hard House days. So you had like Lisa Lashes, Judge Jules, Tall Paul. They're just a few names to mention, to be honest. But yeah, they were like big influences for me back in the day. I don't know. Like, I can't really say that I've got influences now. I say I've got DJs I like to listen to, and I like how they play and the energy they bring, but I wouldn't say they so much influence me, because I like them as an artist and what they do. I've got so many people that I like watch, like Maluji. He's a good DJ to watch. I love the energy he brings and the music he plays. Morgan Cetri as well is another guy that's really good. The energy again he brings, the music he plays. Then like you got like your IPC, your Interplanetary Criminal, the music he plays as well. Everyone's kind of got their different way about them that I kind of like. You know what I mean? But I don't aspire as such to be that, because I'm me. Like yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I like them. I don't think it's an influence. It's more of a like. Yeah.
What would you say your sort of production style is?
Yeah, I've just kind of recent kind of started to create my own genre. So there's a recent track that everyone's gone nuts about, which is a track called Raw Cuts. So it's like a kind of a tech house track that's kind of high tempo tech house. It's very underground, and it's kind of got garage elements in it as well, and speed garage elements with like hip hop vocals. So it's kind of like it's got its own genre. It's literally, you couldn't pigeonhole it as such, because it's got elements from everything. It's even got house drums. You know what I mean? So can't really put a genre on it, to be fair. If you, yeah, it's just Joe Hunt.
So how was your, obviously you just did a tour in Australia. What's it like? What's the experience like of doing a tour, and how was that for you?
Intense. It's intense. It's very demanding. I wouldn't change it for the world, but it's like you really appreciate your downtime, but you really enjoy the DJing as well. Yeah, it's just really intense, and you just got to be careful that you don't slip, have too many drinks, and you ruin the next day, because sometimes you'll have 3 shows in a row. So you do Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. So you go mental. Obviously, you have to have a couple of vodkas to get you going, like get you in the mood. But you just got to be so careful and be mindful of what you're doing and be professional. Yeah.
So what are some? You mentioned downtime. What are some things that you like to do outside of DJing that sort of help you, like
sightseeing? Yeah, do the sightseeing. When on tour, you mean on tour? Yeah. So yeah, just sightseeing and to be honest, because we've got quite a few friends in Australia, and we kind of, on the last tour in April last year, we met a few people, and we met back up from this time. So we went out and done a lot of socialising, and so it was quite nice this time. Yeah, it's different from the first tour. This is a lot more relaxed.
What are some ways that you take care of your mental health and advice you have for people who might be struggling with their mental health?
Yeah, so like I said about the disappointment thing, it's I kind of, I don't know my wife, man, she gets me through a lot of stuff, and if, to be honest, if she wasn't involved in this whole journey, I don't think I'd be on this journey. She's very supportive. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't be doing it. I possibly would, but I wouldn't be in a happy place doing it. You know. So she's very supportive when it comes to stuff like that, with disappointment and being let down and that, and she's always there for me. So yeah, happy wife, happy life.
So, what would you say has been the greatest moment of your career that you're the most proud of?
I think this Australian tour is like I've just come back from. I think it's the biggest highlight of my career so far. Now, I ain't saying that what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not grateful for everything that's happened, because for every stage of my career has always been amazing. Like when I've won awards, for being best DJ and stuff for like 5 years, 6 years running, and it's like amazing, just amazing. But that was on like a West Midlands kind of Leeds, Sheffield based type of vibe. This is now global. This is now mental. Like I'm going to Australia and I'm walking in venues with security, and walking from the green room, and as I'm walking, people pulling me, calling my name, wanting photos. It's just like the best way I could describe it. Someone asked me again the other day, and I said I just feel like Kanye West when I walk in a venue. But like I'm a really shy person. If I in an environment that I'm not sure about, I'm very closed up, and it's only until I don't know. So when people tugging me and pulling me and want photos and calling my name, I go shy. I'm like, it's just, I don't know. I always have. I go shy, and I get really nervous as well. Really nervous.
How have you sort of like handled your increase in popularity? Like, how have you sort of handled that?
Do you know what? Like, I don't know. I'm just me. Like, I don't think there's any I'd always give people the time. Like, at the end of the day, they're the ones that are making you who you are today. Like, okay, cool. You can make, you make music, you can DJ, but they, predominantly are the people that are making you like popular, or I hate the word famous because I ain't famous, like popular. They're the ones that always give them the time of the day, and and yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't want to say that I don't walk around with a chip on my shoulder, but I know I don't. But I'm very approachable, I think, and yeah, like I say, I always give people the time of day. So I don't think there's any right or wrong way to deal with it. Just be yourself and don't be a dick.
Very true. No,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
What are some of the upcoming projects that you've got in the works, if you can reveal any?
So I've got something coming with Alex Mills. It's actually not finished yet, so I should probably be saying that. But yeah, I've got something I've been always wanted to work with her, like for a few years now. And we were chatting in Ocean Beach last year. I was in the VIP bit having a chat, and I was like, "Please, come on, let's just do something." She's like, "Come on, we will." And it kind of like, I know what people are really busy and stuff like that, so it kind of didn't happen.
Right.
And then she messaged me out the blue. She was in Ibiza, and Morgan Seatree had played one of my records, and she messaged me. She's like, I want to sing over this song. I want to do I want to sing over this song. I was like, sound, let's lock it in. So she wrote a vocal to it, and I actually started that last weekend, and I'm probably going to finish it this weekend. But yeah, this one is like, for me, I've just put everything into it, and I just pray and hope to God this is the next big song for me. No, don't get me wrong, I've had loads of big songs in between. I've done collabs with Inner City, Good Life, which is absolutely huge. They're iconic, you know. It's like, it's just next level. I've done official remix for Renegade Master. I've done other remixes for other huge artists in between. So yeah, but this one here, like, because I've wanted to work with them for so long, this for me, like, I just want it to be everything. So hopefully you'll look back at this, or we'll look back at this and we'll go, yay or nay.
How do you sort of like, how do you sort of know, or like, do you test songs before you release them?
No, so I again, like I say to you, it's like, it's from here. Like, you know, like everything I do is from here. Like, it's how it makes me feel. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, I'll listen to, you know, other records and I'll be like, that's nice, that is, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it kind of like influences me, you know, with certain sounds, you know, to throw in there. But yeah, it's kind of, it's always from here. Like this record with Alex Mills, because at the minute I'm just loving trance again. So yeah, like, I've this particular track, I've kind of took like an influence from back when I was first a raver or going out as such in Birmingham, to like my current sound now. So I've kind of put them both together, and because of how that particular genre that from back in the day made me feel, I've kind of put that in this. And when I started the track the other day, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be massive. You know what I mean? Honestly, it was giving me them vibes back then. So, and with her sweet vocal over the top of it, or in the track, it just sounds incredible, man. Honestly, incredible. So hopefully, like I say, you know, we'll look back when I finish the track and it's being pitched out. I mean, you can have a conversation again and be like, yes, it's been signed.
100%, man, 100%. Who were some of the dream collaborators?
Oh God, there's a massive list. There's a huge list. So again, Maluji, Morgan Seatree, IPC. Who else is there that's on the list? I think they're my top three. Who else is there? God, there's loads. They're probably my top three, to be fair. And there's probably, I'm going to probably walk out of here and go, damn it, I should have said them. Damn it, I should have said them. But yeah, they're probably my top three. Yeah.
What are some sort of new genres that you want to experiment with that you haven't yet experimented with?
Hard house. Yeah, I've got a love for it, and I'm kind of gravitating towards it a bit at the minute. Yeah, so again, you know, the tracks that I've got coming up, or tracks that I've got in the pipeline, have got influences of that. So I don't know if I want to fully put my foot in to the scene, just maybe dip my toe in, just so it kind of pricks the ears of them artists and they support it, because a lot of the tracks that I do anyway, because they're so high energy, they have been supported by some of these hard house DJs and stuff like that. Yeah.
What do you want your legacy to be as a DJ when you decide your career comes to an end?
Mentor, I suppose. But when does it come to an end? I've been doing it 27 years now, like, and I've been happy with every stage of the career. So at what point do you go, okay, it's ended? You know, it's like, I could be 63, still involved in the... I say 63. I know you probably think, that's quite a particular number, that is. And I'll tell you why, because I went to watch Fatboy Slim on Thursday. And I looked while I was watching him jump around on the stage and smash the living crap out of the crowd. I was like, how old is I? 63. 63. I was like, I've still got some time left. So at what point do you go, okay, my career's ended? At the end of the day, you know, you don't know. You just don't know. Maybe I won't be jumping around on the stage and you know, at 65, but I might be involved. I might be into management.
Mm.
You just don't know, do you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because obviously the experiences along the way. You know, I'd probably make a good manager when I get to 60. You know, you just don't know, do you?
How would you say is the main sort of way that you've kept longevity throughout your career? And what advice do you have for people who want to know how to like stay relevant but also adapt in a way that's like true to them?
Evolve with your sound. As I said, like everything that all my music is from every element of my career. So it's got elements of my entire career in it. And it's, to be honest, like over the last, since Interplanetary Criminal has really been pushing the sound and Main Phase and ATW and like the other, damn it, the other collab person group is Girls Don't Sink, by the way. That's basically staying relevant is reinventing yourself in new sounds, but kind of like keeping it still, you know, with your personality in there and you, rather than being conforming to something that you're not really happy with, but you're doing it because you have to. Just stay true to yourself. And this is what, you know, like DJs that kind of, or producers that kind of start now, they kind of probably listen to like Chris Dussey and Josh Baker, and they're just banging out tunes that just sound like them. Like, that's not going to make you get recognised because you don't sound any different. So I think that's a little bit of an advantage that I've got, that I know about other genres that I kind of implement into my music that kind of make me stand outish a little bitish. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's just my theory on it.
So this has been an episode of Energy Inside Motion with my guest Joe Hunt. Thank you very much for
Nice
coming
one for
on.
having me on.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, mate. My Instagram is Joe Hunt DJ on Instagram, and TikTok is the same. And my Facebook, if you have Facebook, who has Facebook anymore, is Joe Hunt DJ.
Perfect.
There you go.
Legend. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Nice one. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.